Hello and welcome everyone. This is Raj from CoinLive, and today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Katherine, the marketing VP of Quoine. Now, for those of you who don't know, Quoine is about to launch the Liquid platform, and they're going to solve one of the most critical problems with cryptocurrencies, and that is liquidity or the lack of liquidity. Now, it's not an exaggeration to say that for the mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies, this is a problem that absolutely needs to be fixed. So, without any further ado, Katherine, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thanks, Raj, for having me. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So, Katherine, let's start with the questions, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So, my first question is that before you joined Quoine, you were the marketing head for Grab Taxi, right? So, how did you make that jump to Quoine? Like, what is the story there?
Okay, so I'll give the brief summary. So I started out in banking as an analyst, and I had a corporate finance background from there, and I transitioned into tech startups like AirAsia, Grab, Sephora, and the e-commerce side. And I thought, hey, I've got this combination of finance and tech operations skill sets across the commercial side, and why not combine it and see how I can best add value to a sector that I'm passionate about, and that
Awesome.
happened to be fintech. And when I started looking around for fintech hubs, Singapore was one of them, and there was so much activity going on. There were so many meetups, so many conferences, so many innovation hubs setting up shop there, lots of fintech startups as well, hiring out of Singapore. So Quoine happened to be one of these fintech startups that are blockchain focused, with a mission to democratize finance. And I was referred to a friend who was in the space when I was looking at fintech in a general way. And that was how I actually focused on blockchain fintech. That was when I joined Quoine, and I was their first marketing hire as well. So it's been really rewarding
That's
to
amazing.
build a team from scratch and do an ICO, one of the biggest ones in the world. So
Yeah.
it's really rewarding. Yeah.
That's amazing. And speaking of rewarding, Coin is widely regarded as having one of the best and the most qualified teams in the space. So my question to you is, how does it feel like being surrounded by so many amazing people and working on one goal along with them?
Sure. So it's been an amazing journey. I mean, I'm inspired to come to work every day, and I'm always, challenged by this senior management team who have seen the ups and downs of capital markets, and who really understand and appreciate the future and the potential of blockchain technology. And these guys are senior guys from banks like Goldman and Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse, and they've actually given up their high security, stable jobs just to risk it all for a startup kind of environment. And that's because they believe in the tech, and they believe in the vision of the company to really democratize finance. And that's the beauty of it. So we get a wonderful combination of senior management teams from very experienced, high how do you say this, highly qualified, top tier investment banks, and they're bringing all their knowledge, their domain knowledge, their know-how, their connections into crypto, and really building out a safe, sustainable crypto ecosystem for everybody.
That's pretty amazing. So speaking of the goal that you are the problem that you're about to solve with the launch of Liquid, can you give our audience an insight into how big a problem the lack of liquidity is in the space? Can you give us a idea of why there is a problem?
Sure. So right now, it actually exists in our current markets, non-crypto markets as well. And it's this issue of liquidity. And what does it mean? Okay, for businesses, the most important thing as a business owner for me is cash flow.
Right.
Cash is king.
Right.
That's the first primary concern. Second primary concern is also cash flow. So how do business owners get access to funds, right? They can go get a loan from a bank, or they can borrow money from their friends or family, or get funding from a VC. But oftentimes they struggle, right? And within struggle to get funding, maybe because of seasonal issues, and they don't have enough credit score, things like that. So Crypto is a wonderful way to really open up the financial system for all these new businesses and new and existing businesses to really get funding. And the issue with crypto right now is also liquidity, because you can have like a new token issuer with a great product, and they want to make their tokens tradable, but it's hard to find liquidity in the markets to really affect any transactions, so they can create it into a liquid asset. Or you have people in Indonesia or like Vietnam who have strong capital controls in place. They're very illiquid domestic currencies which are not highly traded across global markets. So that's another issue as well. So that makes their domestic currencies very illiquid. So, or you have more mature markets like US or Japan with their yen, but they are very siloed in terms of their liquidity pools.
Correct.
So it's with Liquid platform, we aim to create a platform where we can aggregate all these liquidity pools together so that we can provide the best and most liquid price matching for all our customers, so they can get the liquidity that they need and the funding that they need quickly on our platforms.
Got it. And for the execution of the Liquid platform, one of the most key components is obviously the Worldbook. Now, Coin CEO Mike Kayamori has already revealed the 5-phase plan for the execution of Worldbook, so to speak. Can you give our audience a small overview of how Worldbook is going to work?
Sure. So Mike's laid out a great 5-phase roadmap across all the way based on our Liquid white paper, and that stretches all the way up to 2019 end of. And in terms of the first phase, it's about the Worldbook. And what is the Worldbook? It's really the engine that powers the Liquid platform. And the Worldbook comprises of two parts. One's the internal Worldbook, one's the external Worldbook. The internal Worldbook is something that we're working really hard on right now and targeting April for launch. And it's really soon, it's next month.
Really soon.
So basically what it does is it allows for multi-market order price matching within our own internal order book. So basically, without connecting to other exchanges, we're just matching up different pools of liquidity across the different currency markets that we offer, so that traders like yourself who say maybe you're based, I'm assuming India, for example, you can select cash, and then you can trade it against different fiat currencies of your choice. Even though those fiat currencies may be illiquid, for example, Indonesian rupiah tends to be quite illiquid against the BTC. Now traders can access other liquidity pools like BTC JPY, which is very liquid for us, and enjoy the same kind of liquidity because we're actually pooling funds from there and putting it directly against your own currency of choice.
Awesome. So who would you consider Liquid's main competitors in this niche? Who are the main competitors?
Sure. Within the crypto space, crypto only trading space, that would be probably Binance, because they have a huge customer base, and to be honest, our community also really sing their praises. And in terms of crypto fiat, that's our CoinX platform. Cryptos is our crypto only platform, so too, which we plan to combine into Liquid at some point, so it's easier for people to remember one name as opposed to two. In terms of crypto fiat, we're actually, I think, quite ahead of the game. There are not many exchanges offering crypto fiat offerings, and it becomes a little bit more complicated because it touches fiat, so we need to be pro-regulation about this and work closely with governments and banks. So in a sense, I think we're a market leader in Asia for that. And we're looking to, of course, extend our platform offerings to retail markets, for mainstream adoption as well. Because our platform, I must admit, it's not the easiest to use right now, but we will make it as seamless as possible and as easy to use as possible in the coming iterations of Liquid beta.
Understood. So you have touched on this topic already, and this is a question that I had for you. See, you have the CoinX platform, the Cryptos platform, and now Liquid is coming over, and the plan is to like merge all these into one, right?
That's
Into
right.
Liquid.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
now, as you have already said, these platforms like give different services, right? You have like crypto, fiat, and then you have Liquid. So will it be a challenge to get people from all these platform onto one platform? Like, is there something that you have like envisioned here as to how to make it work seamlessly?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So basically, we will open up a beta to both existing and new Cryptos and CoinX customers, and we will be migrating our existing user base to Liquid, and it will be a phased approach for that because migration does like takes a while, and we need to be careful about it. Yeah, because it's a big exercise. In terms of customer sees. So it's basically like single sign-on, right? You just sign on once and then you get access to, say, currency pairs that are available in your country.
Correct.
So, for example, yeah, Japan customers will see Japan FSA approved crypto fiat pairs or crypto only pairs. The US citizen may see something different, but it's still the same interface.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Understood. So my next question is that for Liquid to succeed, you have all these different exchange platforms and they need to be linked to Liquid. Now, we already know that the Gibraltar exchange has already made a partnership with Coin. So what is the strategy going forward to get more of these high value exchanges into one platform?
Sure, that's a great question, Raj. So right now we are actively trading with about 17 different exchanges, and Andre clearly lays out the different stages of a liquidity partnership with exchanges in his AMA. So I won't go into too much detail, but at a high level, what I can share is as we progress along the partnership, we're going to get better and better rates with these partners in terms of lower transaction fees, better FX rates, just because of the volumes that we bring to them. And in terms of how do you say this? It's sort of like a win-win situation between us and its exchanges. If they become a liquidity partner, we can route our trades to them. Say, if you put in a trade for BTC INR, for example, if we cannot find the liquidity required within our own Worldbook, we can use our external Worldbook mechanism and connect to these other exchanges who can provide their liquidity pools to provide them best matching for your trade. So at the lowest cost possible for you. So that is how we want to connect other exchanges into our platform. And it's win-win for them because we're passing on the order to them because they have the volumes there. So really it's building that connectivity, bridging all those liquidity pools together to provide the best access to liquidity for everybody.
Awesome. Also, Katherine, my next question is that we know that all these ad bans are happening, that has been inflicted by Facebook and Twitter. So, like from the perspective of somebody who is an expert in marketing, can you tell us how badly this is going to affect ICOs from a marketing perspective?
Okay, that's a great question, Raj. So with regards to the policy on Facebook and Twitter, we're actually supportive of it. These platforms just want to protect their customers, and it's very easy for a project to just scam people because the markets are still unregulated. So for the interest of customer safety, we support this policy, and we are actually still advertising on Twitter and Facebook, and they have not banned us yet.
Wow.
So, yeah, that just goes to show we're a legitimate business.
That is pretty amazing. So I'm going to ask you like a couple of questions before we wrap things up. First and foremost, like the cash token sale that happened on 8th November and like raised some $106.4 million or something like staggering like that, if I'm not wrong. Like, can you, for any up and coming ICOs, like, can you give us some marketing advice to them? Like, how did you go about the entire marketing process for the ICO? Like, can you give a brief overview?
Okay, so in terms of ICO marketing, the first and foremost, in terms of your foundation, it should be your community. And I guess you probably hear this a lot, but I like to talk about the case study of QuantStem. Because they did everything completely organic, and they just rely on the strength of their community. And once they had that community in place, what they did was to get the community to start participating in promoting your project. They basically created a program called Proof of Care, for caring, right? So basically, they said the conditions were if you want to participate in our ICO, you need to submit a proof of caring action, so we can verify your identity and allow you to participate. And this went viral. And that's one of the most beautiful things about ICO marketing. Any marketer will want their campaign to go viral. And they basically got like 10,000 people in a few days or something on their Telegram.
Wow.
We did something similar in terms of how do you say this? Bounty campaigns, which is more mainstream. But what Quantstamp did brilliantly was tap the hearts and minds of their community, people that actually care for the project and want to contribute. Care.
Yeah.
Hence, proof of care and concept. So amazing.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, like that sounds pretty amazing. So I mean, like, do you want to share any, like, give us an idea of any marketing strategies that you're currently executing, and like just a brief idea of what you're doing to before the launch of Liquid and all these things?
Sure. So initially, before the launch of Liquid, we were prepping for the ICO itself. So you know, we had very limited resources at the time. I mean, we were obviously nowhere near the level of funding we had now, and so we had to be very conscious about costs and budget and resources. And so I didn't have much to go by. So I could only do a few things, but it's important for me to do a few things and do those few things well.
Correct.
And so one of the key things was really leveraging of community outreach. So and in our existing customer base, and using social media because it's like low cost, high impact for
Correct.
us. And I started by just, you know, sending out a newsletter. And this was one of the beautiful things about having an existing customer base. You have people who are curious about your product that are already, you know, experienced users. And so I did a call to action. I asked them like, hey, does anybody wanna be a community manager? We'll like compensate you in cash tokens. And so we had our first few community managers come on board and sign up. And these guys were with us from day one, and now they're our full-time staff.
That's brilliant.
I hired directly from my community, and that's the beauty of it. Like, you can see from the interactions in Telegram, in our community, like how much they care for the project, our vision, our mission, and Liquid, and it's really amazing that we've built this culture both internally and externally with our community, and how we just like are on the same page and really align with both our personal and professional goals. It's just amazing.
That is amazing. And like, I want to wrap up the interview here, and I have to personally say that interviewing somebody from Coin, like that, I'm really nerding out here. So thank you so much for doing this. And
thank you.
like, we all know how important it is that you guys solve the liquidity quandary, and like just do it, like, seriously, like, for the future success of cryptocurrencies, you know. So before we wrap things up, do you have any parting words for the Coin community?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, hello coiners. You know, thank you so much for all your support, your ongoing support, and for really like just, you know, being with us every step of the way. I appreciate all of you so much, and I hope that we grow together from strength to strength. And it's all about teamwork that makes the dream work.
That's amazing. That's an amazing thing to end the interview on. So this is Raj from CoinLive, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Katherine.
Thank you, Raj.
It was Katherine from Coin, and I hope you really enjoyed this interview. I know I certainly did. And if you like what you saw, then give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And there are a lot more interviews coming up, so please do stay tuned. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest in the crypto world, with news that is actionable, unbiased, relevant, and objective, then do follow us on Twitter. That is at CoinLive_IO, C capital, L capital, and IO capital. And you can also check out our website, coinlive.io. This is Raj, and we are signing off.